Hey everyone, it's Beck here from Hello. My name is Beck and I'm popping in to do Make It Monday with you. We are making a card today. You'll see how the card turns out. It's probably already on the thumbnail of this video. And so using the stamp and die set I got recently, it is an envelope stamp and die set, and it has these flowers here with the bow. So you can actually, if you want to, the die will actually cut out the envelope and slide the flowers inside. It also cuts out the envelope, and you could then, if you wanted to, put some paper in and have a message coming out of the envelope, which I really like. So just using the flowers and the bow here to stamp and colour in. I have all of my Copic markers up at the top, Copic, and I have them colour swatched across the top there. So I'm just going to colour these flowers. I have sped the colouring up by 5, so I'm hoping that it doesn't bore you guys with the colouring that I do. There's quite a bit of layering when it comes to Copic markers. You actually start with your base colour and then you come in and add other colours on top. One of the really good things about Copics is they blend really well. So if you are in the same sort of color palette or color, what's the word, on the right side of the color wheel with them, you can actually make them blend really well. So yellows and oranges blends really well, pinks and peaches blend really well, and then greens and blues blend really well together. So that is what I'm doing here, is I'm just taking some really complementary colours and popping them onto these flowers. I really didn't know where I was going to go with the actual flowers themselves. I knew what I wanted to do with the actual card, but didn't know what colours I was going to be using on the actual bouquet. I wasn't sure as well, based on my own color palette that I have here with my Copic markers. These are all the ones that I own, so it was very much limited to what I could do, and I wanted the bouquet to look more natural, not sort of, you know, bright colors that you wouldn't find out in nature. So then coming in with the 3 greens that I own, so I started with the lightest, then I've moved on to the medium to pop on the leaves. So you can see here I've left some of the leaves quite light, and then coming in with the darkest of the greens and popping that at the bottom of the leaves where they would be most shadowed. So yeah, this is pretty much Copic colouring for you guys if you've never seen Copic colouring. And then I'm going to then be doing the bow. I really should have gone with sort of the raspberry red that I used on the pink flower at the top, rather than trying this pink and then ending up going to purple. I'm really not sure. I don't think I like how the bow turns out. In fact, at the end of this video, I really don't like the overall card. So you'll have to tell me whether you think you like it. But I really wasn't happy with how the card turned out. So just using some vellum here, I'm just going to score the vellum at 4 inches. And then I'm going to fold that over because the actual stamp of the envelope is just under 4 inches tall. So you'll be able to see that I come in and I stamp that onto the vellum. And I'm using a VersaFine watermark ink, and that's so that I can actually heat emboss this. Now I am heat embossing this with what is called Stampin' Up's white, but I'm really not happy with the actual end result of the white. It turns out to be more cream. I don't know whether it's because of the vellum that I use. It's like vellum has sort of a creamy base to it, but I don't know whether my white is not white. I'd really like to try a different embossing powder and see whether the actual embossing powder is the thing, because the embossing powder itself looks cream as well, so maybe I've had it too long. So what I'm going to do here is heat emboss this. So I'm just going to use a paintbrush to get rid of any of the uh, powder that shouldn't be where it's sort of landed. So by using the paintbrush, it gets rid of some of the powder that you don't want in places. So I've heat embossed that, and then I'm just going to cut it out here using just my Fiskars scissors to cut it out, because I didn't want the die to cut it out, because otherwise the die will cut the envelope in half there so that you can slide things in. And what we're going to be doing is making this a mini shaker for the front of the card. So that's why I couldn't have the die cut it out, because otherwise I would have ended up with sequins everywhere. So I'm just using a very fine double-sided tape just here so that I can stick the vellum together and pop in some sequins. Going to take off the bottom strips of double-sided tape to make the pocket for the sequins to go in, and I leave the top layer of double-sided tape until the sequins are finished. So just going to grab some colours that actually match the bouquet. So we've got this sort of peachy pink here that I will slide in. We have sort of a very pale lemon, and then just some clear sequins just to add some shine. And then just going to pop those in. I do skip ahead to when I've got the perfect mix, just here. And then I take the other double-sided tape off so that it seals up my shaker for the front of the envelope. So all the sequins are down at the bottom, but I do shake this around until I feel that it's got them sort of mixed up and sort of evenly spread. It will change, of course, when you put that onto your card base. So I have my coloured in stamped images here, and I'm just running them through with the coordinating dies that come with them. Then I think that the bow needs some more colouring, so just in the right hand corner there, just in the bottom, just adding a touch more colour. And then what I do is even go around the edges of the die cut, because I don't think I had the die positioned very well. I did end up cutting off some of the black stamp of the ribbon's base, or the little tiny ribbon at the bottom. So by going around with the actual Copic marker, it then distracts from the fact that I really haven't cut that out very well. So and then popping that with my flowers, choosing a colour to go underneath the whole thing, because this is going onto a card. I didn't want it just on a white card base, especially seeing as my embossing powder turned out to be cream and not white. So I'm gonna pop this through my die cutting machine with this really lovely embossed stitch, or it's like a die cut stitch, because it just looks like it's like got a little quilt background. So popping this on to my card base, positioning it in the right place, because I do need a sentiment here. So I do find a sentiment that sort of matches the bright pink up at the top on the flower. So all I've done is cut off the stems of the flowers and place them where it would go into the envelope and then pop the bow on top. So I found this Celebrate Every Day, little sentiment from Rosie's studio, and I think it finishes it perfectly. Really not happy with how this card turns out. You'll have to let me know what you think. Please give this video a like, a comment, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I hope you are all well and taking care. Lots of crafty love from me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!